Hi there everyone and welcome to BNSN Weekend as we have countdown 8 years of our channel where we've been helping you out with your queries, your portfolios. We would like to extend a big thank you to all of our viewers for being with us through this very memorable and remarkable journey. Well, speaking of journeys, the markets have had a pretty consolidated journey this entire week, but let's tell you what's lined up over the next half hour. We will be getting your viewer queries answered on PNB, on Bansali Engineering as well as Nalco on the show. We also have a portfolio advisor segment where we will be getting Prerna Jain's portfolio answered on the show. And to guide us over the next half hour, we have our guests with us, Vikas Sethi on the fundamentals as well as Gaurav Bissa joining in on the technicals. Gentlemen, great to have you with us on the show. I'm going to start off with the first query for the day, which has been sent in to us from Hassan Mehdi in New Delhi. Well, the question comes in on PNB. He's got 600 shares of the stock. The price point is 187.5 and he's got a 1-year time horizon and would like to know if he should hold on or sell. So what exactly is your outlook then, Vikas, from a fundamental standpoint? How do you think PNB has fared? Do you think that all of the steps that are being taken very aggressively by the RBI and the government in order to clean up the NPMS are going to bear fruit, if not now, then in the long haul?
Your team and the entire channel for providing such a good service to the investor community at large since last 8 years. As far as PNB is concerned, although the investor has bought it at a pretty high price and is sitting on losses, but then I think he would do well to get out of PNB because the recent news which are doing the rounds that Allahabad Bank could be merged with PNB and the merger ratio could be favorable to Allahabad Bank also does not augur well for PNB as a stock. So my idea would be to sell PNB, book losses and switch to State Bank of India from the public sector banking space where I am bullish and I have a target of 350 rupees in a year.
That's the view coming in on PNB for now. Hold on. What about the technicals then? You know, it's been a bit of a journey, so to speak, for a PNB. On the charts, are you seeing any sort of a decisive breakout? Do you think that at 187, which is the buy price, it's a good time to stay invested?
Well, it's trading above the crucial support levels, and that can be taken as a positive. So, if you look at not just the PNB but the entire PSU basket, the trend is very strong. I'm not talking the short-term trend; it is in the consolidation phase. But if you look at the long-term trend, it is quite strong, and I think dips are being utilized to buy the names, whether it is PNB or some of the other PSU names. And I would recommend to hold on to the name. Again, the price is quite high, as Vikas just mentioned. But as for somebody to one can hold with 135, it can again try to retest levels of 195. It might take a little bit more than a year, maybe a year and a half is what I expect, but I think one can hold PNB from these levels, or if he wants, he can also add some positions here, have a 10 rupee stop loss and play for targets of 195.
Okay, hope you've taken note of that advice coming in on PNB. Next up, let's take on the query on Bansali Engineering. Dilip Prajapati from Ahmedabad has sent in this query. Well, he's got 300 shares. His buy price is 39.6. Should he book profits? Because he's got a short-term time frame of the next 1 to 2 months. Well, the stock is currently trading at above the 50 mark right now at about 52. But we don't really talk about it too often. Bansali Engineering, do you track this one on the charts, Gaurav? And do you think that it's time to book profits, especially given the fact that the time horizon's a bit short?
Well, it's in a very strong uptrend. There's volume participation that has happened. The breakout has been followed by a good amount of volumes. I would recommend book some amount of profits here. So if you have bought 300 shares, I think 150, 180 shares can be sold here. Book part profit. Have a trailing stop loss of 48 and hold for targets of 58. If the current levels of 51, 52 are held, then I think in a month or two we can see it heading towards 58 levels.
All right, that's the outlook coming in. But tell us a little bit more about the company, Vikas, your understanding of the fundamentals and whether or not you like the stock.
As far as BEPL is concerned, if you remember, this stock has been one of the stocks which I had recommended as a long-term wealth creation idea in your Riding the Bull show at much lower levels, around 35 odd levels. The stock has done well, and the investor has also bought it at the right price and is sitting on good amount of profits. But I think there's a lot of steam left. This company manufactures ABS, the price of which have recently gone up after disruption in China. ABS finds use in automobile industry, home appliances, which are all doing well. So I'm bullish on this stock, and I would recommend a hold on the stock, and I have a target of 75 rupees in a year.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Bansali Engineering. I hope you've taken note of the advice. A stock that Vikas is exceedingly bullish on. He's been recommending it as one of his picks as well, so stay invested. Next up, Dilip has also got a question coming in on Nalco. Well, he's purchased 300 shares of this one at about 67 rupees per share and now wants to know if he should hold on or if he should in fact book out of the stock. He wants to know what the outlook is for the time horizon of the next 5 to 6 months. Well, he's purchased it at about 67, unfortunately not breaking even at the current juncture. Let's talk about the prospects of the metal space as a whole, Vikas, and how does Nalco stack up amongst the lot?
Yeah, one, as far as Nalco is concerned, the company has done well or has been doing well recently. Most of the metal stocks are also doing well. Metal prices have gone up. So I think the stock would do well from here. He has bought it at the at somewhere close to the current market price. I think one would be advised to recommend this stock at the current levels, and my target would be 85 rupees in a year.
Okay. Stay put, target 85. What about the charts then, Gaurav? Do you think that this stock is likely to, remain, it's a good candidate to have rather in the portfolio?
Well, the charts are not very strong, but there's one aspect. It's at the lower end of its trading range. There's a strong support that is seen at 62.5, 62 kind of levels, and even the 200 DMA is also placed around those levels, and it has not broken that in last year and a half. And what the kind of momentum that we are seeing in other metal names, if it catches to this name, I think there can be a good bounce back also that can be seen. And if these levels are held, there's a possibility it may test levels of 75, 76. I think that will be a very strong resistance. So initially he can hold on, have a stop loss of 62 and play for levels of 75, 76. If that is held, then there's a possibility of 80 sort of targets coming in. For somebody who wants to play for a very large amount of breakout, 80 is a very, very strong resistance. If that is taken out, then we are talking of 100 above targets sort of, but it will take a good amount of time. But for now, I think for trading per se, you can have a stop loss of 62 and play for 75 kind of levels.
Okay, that's the advice coming in on how you should be approaching Nalco. Hope you've taken note of those levels in the advice. Let's slip into a short break, come right back. On the other side, Prerna Jain's portfolio is what we'll be discussing. Thanks for staying on with us. This is Buy Now Sell Now Weekend, straight up to the Portfolio Advisor segment. And today, let's focus in on our portfolio at hand. But let's come in all the way from Udaipur, and we have Prerna Jain, who has sent in her portfolio. She's 30 years old. She's got a long-term time horizon. She's really looking to stay put in the markets for the next 10 to 12 years. So let's find out how best we can help her out. First up, let's run you through the names in the portfolio. There's Axis Bank at 480. She's also got Berger Paints in the portfolio, close to 125 shares, picked up at 230 rupees. BHEL bought at a level of 130. Meantime, there's BSC in the portfolio, the recent listing bought at a price point of 950 rupees. Coal India, so it looks like she's sticking to the large caps. There's Dish TV in the portfolio, fetched at a level of 90. Endurance Technology bought at 750. She's got 100 shares of Eros International. That's been picked up at 235. Another heavyweight from the banking space, HDFC, merits a mention at 1150, close to 30 shares. There's ICICI Bank at 250. ICICI Prudential also is in her portfolio, 100 shares, and she's bought it at a level of 330. And finally, Infosys, 80 shares at 1,000 rupees. Well, Vikas, I'm sure at first glance there are not too many complaints on the portfolio. There's a good mix, a judicious mix of mid caps and large caps, and she's got them on the right foot as well for the most part. Let's start off with the first three names in the portfolio: Axis Bank, Berger Paints and BHEL. What are you advising?
Yeah, one, as far as Axis Bank is concerned, it's a quality private sector bank, and I feel the valuations are reasonable when you compare it with its peers like an HDFC Bank or a Kotak Bank. So I would recommend that the investor continues to hold on to Axis Bank, and my target would be 600 rupees in a year. The other stock is Berger Paints, again a fundamentally good stock. Most of the paint stocks are doing well. they are beneficiaries of the fall in crude prices, which has reduced their cost. And to add to that, there is a great momentum which is being witnessed in automobile as well as housing space. So most of the paint stock should do well, and Berger Paints remains a good pick. So I would recommend a hold on Berger Paints. My target is 300 rupees in a year. And the third stock which she owns is BHEL. This stock also, after the recent correction, looks good at the current levels. I think with the capex cycle improving in the economy, this stock also should do well. I have a target of 175 rupees, and I would recommend a hold on this stock as well.
All right, that's the view coming in on the first three stocks in the portfolio. Let's move right on then and find out what to do with some of the other mid-cap names. Then BSC, that's been a recent listing. How are you viewing that stock in the space as a whole, Vikas? Do you like Coal India? And from the media space, what kind of growth are you anticipating from Dish TV?
Yeah, well, as far as BSE is concerned, it has been a recent listing. The investor has bought it at a right price, sitting on some profits. But I feel there is some more steam left, and I would recommend a hold on BSE. My targets are 1200 rupees on the stock in a year. The other stock which she owns is a Coal India. I think this stock has been a laggard. Although fundamentals are good, but then the stock has not been performing. I would recommend a sell on Coal India, despite the investor losing some money on that. But I think she would do well to switch to another public sector company by the name of NBCC, which is doing great. Actually, I feel this stock could turn out to be a very good idea. So my idea would be to switch to an NBCC, where I have a target of 275 rupees. And the other stock which she owns is Dish TV. Again, I think Dish TV may have to face a lot of competition once Reliance Jio also launches its DTH. So I feel the investor would do well to get out of Dish TV as well, and switch to a stock like an NCC, a Nagarjuna Construction, where I think we could see a lot of upside from the current levels. I have a target of 125 rupees on Nagarjuna Construction. So I would recommend a sell on Dish TV and a switch to an NCC.
All right, hope you've taken note. Some chops and changes to be made in the portfolio, but let's move on to the next set of stocks. Endurance Technology, can you just elaborate a little bit more about what you like about the company and whether or not you think it's a hold? Do you like Eros International? Of late, we've seen quite a bit of fervor in the stock, and what's the outlook on HDFC?
Yeah, again, as far as Endurance Technology is concerned, it's a good quality auto component company. It was also a recent listing. I think the investors bought it at the IPO, and it's sitting on good gains. But I think there's a lot of steam left. They've recently expanded their capacity in Chennai. So, and their big customers are Bajaj Auto, Hyundai, which are all doing well. So I continue to remain bullish on this stock, and I would recommend a hold. My targets are 1100 rupees on this stock. The other stock which she owns is Eros International. Again, good stock. The stock has been beaten down badly, trades at reasonable valuations, but I feel the entire space should do well. Looking at the way consumption spending is going on in India, I think Eros International could be held on to, and my target in a year's time would be 350 rupees on Eros International. And the other stock which she owns is HDFC, which is an evergreen stock. It's a stock which needs to be bought and forgotten. It comes from the housing finance sector, where I'm pretty bullish, and I think this stock would continue to deliver 20-25% kind of returns for the next, say, 5 to 10 years. So I don't think one should be worried about HDFC. She's sitting on profits, and I think she would continue to do well, and my targets would be 2000 rupees in a year, and this could be a very good long-term growth story.
Okay, so no worries when it comes to heavyweight HDFC. Let's get in the last four stocks then together in your outlook. Healthcare Global, there's about 250 shares purchased at a price point of 200. What's the outlook here? ICICI Bank, one of the favorites within the banking sector, very stable in terms of most of the parameters. Do you like it? Do you think that ICICI Pru merits a hold in the portfolio? And finally, Infosys might have been a bit of clouds and, a little bit of a churn in the way the overall IT sector has been performing. But what's your sense overall on these four?
Yeah, well, as far as Healthcare Global is concerned, the investor is sitting on some profits, but I would recommend a sell on this stock, because I feel if one were to remain in the hospital space, then my preferred picks would be, or rather a pick would be a Fortis at these levels, because I feel there's a lot of positive news expected in the stock. IHH is interested in buying a stake in Fortis, and then the demerger of the diagnostic business is also on the cards. So I have a target of 300 rupees on Fortis. I would recommend that she sells or books profit in healthcare global and switches to a Fortis where I have a target of 300 rupees. As far as ICICI Bank is concerned, pretty strong bank. Most of the problems which the bank was grappling with seems to be sorted out, and I think from the current levels we could see some more upside, and I have a target of 375 rupees on ICICI Bank. So my recommendation would be to hold. And ICICI Bank is also likely to demerge its ICICI general insurance business, and where we could see an IPO in the coming months, so which could also again be a very positive trigger for ICICI Bank. The other stock is ICICI Prudential, again a very good company. The investor has bought at a right price, sitting on some profits, but I see tremendous opportunities for the insurance sector in our country, so I would recommend a hold. From a long term point of view, this continues to remain a hold, and my target would be 550 rupees in a year. And the final stock which she owns is Infosys. Although the stock has been a laggard, but I think at the current valuations the stock looks good. There is a buyback also which could be announced anytime. The company had already announced it, that they've set aside around 13,000 crores for a buyback. So, and the company is going through some troubled times right now, but it's a quality company trading at reasonable valuations, and with the expectation of a buyback, I think one would do well to hold on to this stock. My target in a year would be 1200 rupees on Infosys.
Okay, that's the advice coming in on the last set of stocks. And Prerna, I hope we were able to help you out with your entire portfolio and maximize your returns. On that note, do remember that this is only a model portfolio. You must consult your individual investment advisor before taking any investment decisions. Time for a quick break right here on the show. Do stay with us as we get in top technical trades as well as wealth creation ideas from our guests when we return. Welcome back. This is Buy Now, Sell Now Weekend. Let's focus in on the market action, and it's been a bit lackluster after a solid one-way journey. But perhaps what's been putting a break to the fall as well is the fact that the FII flows have been fairly resilient so far. But let's get in a take as to what the road ahead is for the equity markets. What levels should we map out? And Gaurav, let's get in a check as to what exactly you'd be looking at from the chart perspective.
The trend for Nifty is quite strong. We have seen some amount of consolidation from 9700 kind of zone, but there's a good amount of support that is seen at 9500. There are multiple supports rather of Nifty. So below 9500, there's a good support at 9350, and then 9220. So it's not going to be a very swift fall for Nifty in coming days. Rather, I think around 95001 one can have a stop loss of 100 points and play for 9800, 9850 kind of levels.
Let's get in those top ideas then from our experts going as well. And Vikas, from a wealth creation perspective, what would you like to advise?
Yeah, well, the first idea which I would like to share today would be an Ashiana Housing. This company is a play on affordable housing. This company operates in smaller towns and cities, mainly towns like Bhiwadi, Jamshedpur, Jodhpur, Nimrana. The company has been doing exceedingly well over the past few quarters. With the government's focus on affordable housing through its various initiatives like Housing for All by 2022, in the recent RBI policy also the home loans, the risk weight on home loans have been reduced. Then the government has also announced incentives or say reduced interest rates for housing loans below 12 lakhs. So they are all pretty positive for companies which are catering to affordable housing segment. And as far as this company's financials are concerned, they are excellent. It's absolutely debt free, works on strong return ratios, very good margins, and there are several of its projects which are going to get completed in the next say 12 to 18 months, the benefits of which would start being seen in the coming say 12 to 18 months. So I remain very bullish on this stock from a long term point of view. The stock currently trades at somewhere close to 215, 220. My targets are 300 rupees in a year, so I would recommend a buy on this stock. The other idea which I have today is VST Tillers. This company is a leading manufacturer of farm tillers and tractors. This is a play on the expected good monsoon which is there, and then I feel the government's focus on agriculture, the government's focus on improving farm income or the rural income in the next, or doubling the farm income in the next 5 years would be pretty positive for a company like VST Tillers. And I think tillers, in which this company is a leader, would see a tremendous surge in demand because of the shortage of farm labor, and to add to that, the fragmentation in land holdings would be also pretty positive for the tiller industry. The company has also been pretty serious, or has been focusing on the tractor segment. The announcement of GST rates for farm equipments also has been pretty positive. So all in all, I remain bullish on this stock. The fundamentals are pretty solid. The balance sheet is very robust. The company operates on very strong margins. It has had an RO, return on capital employed, of close to 24%. So I like the stock. I'd recommended this stock earlier also at pretty lower levels. So currently it trades at around 2050, and my targets are 2,700 rupees on the stock in a year.
Those are your top wealth creation ideas. Thanks for that, Vikas and Gaurav. On the charts, on the basis of looking at them, what catches your eye?
The first recommendation would be to buy Federal Bank. Stock has seen good amount of volume participation. A strong breakout was seen above 100 levels. It's now consolidating between 105 to 120, and now it's showing early signs of coming out of this consolidation. A lot of volume happening at these levels. Even in futures also, we are seeing good amount of buying coming in. So this is one name that can outperform not just the Bank Nifty but the overall market by a wide margin. One can have a stop loss of 115, play for that, so 132 to 135. And second would be on Jindal Steel. Many of the metal names have seen a stupendous upside in last year and a half. But Jindal Steel is yet to participate. It gave a breakout above 80-90 levels, and now it's trading around 120-125. Again, it's been consolidating in last couple of months. Now, it's only watch of a good breakout. If levels of 120-125 sustain, I would not be surprised in this first stock having levels of 150-160 in next 3 to 4 months. However, for very short term, one can buy with a stop loss of 118 for targets of 140.
Okay, that's the call coming in on your top recommendations to watch out for the long haul, as well as trading ideas. Gaurav Vissa, Vikas Sethi, lovely having you with us on the show. Thanks so much for joining in. On that note, it's a wrap from the entire team that put the show together. Thanks for watching.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.